Hello, everyone. I'm currently in my share house, my new share house, and I woke up 40 minutes ago. And I find out that Charlie Kirk has been assassinated at a university debate. Now, I don't know too much of the details on that, and that's really not why I'm here. I'm not here to cover the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I'm rather here to sort of discuss the general reactions that there were towards it, and more so about the people who are celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, I know just as much as the next person that Charlie Kirk was, quite frankly, a piece of shit. He was a real work of art. But I don't think he deserved to be exterminated, straight up executed. So there are two sort of main points that I'm pivoting on at this moment, and please forgive me for not being able to edit this video. I don't have a computer at the moment. But essentially, you can break it down into 2 points, sort of two arguments as to why we shouldn't be celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. First and foremost, there is the very obvious sort of disdain towards celebrating violence in general. I don't think we should ever be celebrating violence. And however true that Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit, again, at the end of the day, we lost human life. And on the other hand, there's the argument to be made that in celebrating human violence, we then normalize it. If we're saying, it's actually a good thing that this person got killed for his political views, then we are setting the precedent that people can and should be killed for their opinions, for their views, which isn't really such a wonderful thing to normalize, to shout and proclaim that is a good thing. So, even though Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit, we should not justify his death. We should not celebrate his death. He was killed in an untimely manner by someone who now has to bear the guilt of those actions for the rest of his life. The mere thought that he has taken a human life with his own two hands is probably going to weigh him down for the rest of his life, and that is nothing to celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate about that. So one person is dead and the other person is carrying guilt for the rest of their lives. And that is just absolutely terrible. Such a terrible outcome, and all because of politics. Or rather, just how sort of insane politics has gotten. We're treating politics like it's life or death, but in reality, it really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. And I'm wondering if really the buildup of the news media, fear-mongering, politicians being corrupt and whatnot really played a role into just how badly all of this has snowballed. But I'm not a politician. I'm not here to make a commentary on politics. I am here, however, to take a look at things from a philosophical standpoint, which is entirely what this is. Now, on the second hand, so on the first hand, it is violence. If we celebrate violence, then we're basically saying that it's fine to commit violence as long as it is justified. Second point, when we say things like this, we tend to put ourselves down. When we say, it's a good thing that he was killed, that he was assassinated, we lower, we sort of lower our position. And that's not something that you want to do. I mean, even though you may have wanted Charlie Kirk to die deep down, you should not be making a post to it for the rest of the world to show that I love when people die because of their political views to the public. I think we should hold ourselves to higher standards, especially in front of other people, in front of the entire world, as a matter of fact. Because in this day and age where AI is becoming more and more better at what it does, I guess, more and more better at tracking data, tracking someone's entire fucking social media feed, we have to hold ourselves to higher standards. Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit. Don't bring yourself down to his level. However much of a piece of shit Charlie Kirk was, if you actively say that his assassination was a good and wonderful thing, that it benefited the entire world, then you're just as much of an asshole as he is. So hold yourself to a higher standard. Hold each other to a higher standard. Yes, Charlie Kirk is dead, but in an untimely manner caused because of his political views. And although I know that his political views are absolute abysmal dog shit, I still don't think that it warranted him getting assassinated in front of an entire university crowd. So keep things civil. Make sure to remember that we're all human deep down. And it doesn't matter how much the other party doesn't respect you or doesn't treat you like an equal human being, you still shouldn't be actively celebrating the loss of human life in an untimely manner. So I'm just saying, like, if a certain big political member were to pass away in their sleep, I think that would be great. However, if somebody goes out of their way to put an end to somebody else's life, that is terrible. It doesn't matter the context, that will always be terrible. We don't get to play judge, jury, and executioner. We can judge as much as we want, but to determine for ourselves that killing this person is the only right thing to do in this very moment, that's not something we should ever be normalizing. That's not something we should ever be celebrating. Because right now, a right-wing politician was taken down in the name of righteousness, in the name of good. The others can use that very same argument against you, right? When you celebrate these things, you're not saying, yes, our political views were correct. You're saying it's okay to kill people based on their political beliefs. And they will, and they can, and they will use that very same sort of argument against you. So am I saying that the right wing, God, I really don't give a shit about politics. Am I saying that right wing people have never committed politically, what the fuck's the word again, influenced assassinations before? No. No, I am not. As a matter of fact, they have done it multiple times to several trans people. And I know exactly how terrible that was too. But it's the same thing here. It's just that the roles are reversed. it's still the same horrible act, and we should not be celebrating it. There is nothing to celebrate in this. Again, a man has lost his life, however much of a piece of shit he was, and another person is going to be held responsible for the rest of their life. Their life is just straight up ruined. There's no coming back from it. So really, nothing to celebrate. And here's the crazy part, even if Charlie Kirk is dead, there are still people who will be repeating exactly what he has been saying, the exact dogshit, abysmally dogshit fucking political views that he used to spew. But now it's going to be even more emotionally induced because somebody died for the sake of that. And so now they're thinking, you know what, my views are so correct that that the other people are willing to sacrifice, that the other people are willing to put an end to my life to silence the truth. So I will continue saying it for the sake of the truth for the rest of my life until I too am murdered in front of an entire audience, entire crowd, because that's how true I am. And the sacrifice goes on. This murder goes on to just prove how true I am. The sheep are willing to silence the truth. They only acted on that because of fear, because they know that Charlie Kirk was true. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna let my roommates sleep. Do not celebrate assassination. Do not celebrate human death. It's just not a good thing. Hold yourself to a higher regard. Hold yourself to a higher standard, and hold others to a higher standard. I'm not saying this to shame everyone else. I'm just saying this so we can all objectively move on from this little debacle, from this little situation. Okay? Okay.